Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Wrong Way. This is the 1988 Lincoln Town Car. Today I'm going to show you why this car is perfect for an American-Russian gangster.
Wrong way.
And if you would like to buy this Lincoln, just check out the link in the description below.
So again, the question is, why is this car perfect for a Russian gangster in America? So I have a business, I have a business, a company, and my duty for the people in our neighborhood is to keep this neighborhood safe. And in order to do that, we collect monthly fees. You can also pay with PayPal and credit card if you like. If some new people arrive in the town, we first have to check if they are a good person. And if they are a good person, okay, they will later on pay monthly fees and everything is all right. If they are not a good person, then they will see the inside of the Lincoln Town Car, the inside of the trunk. So let's talk about the exterior of this car first. It poses some respect, and this is what we needed from a car in our company, to have respect. If you see a brown, we did not have a different color available. We would like to have black, but there was only brown. Then they have the money ready for us, and the neighborhood is safe. This car has a steel subframe, so if you hit somebody, they will die and not you. Another interesting feature of the Lincoln Town Car 1988 is this. I call it the visor. If somebody like Misha is driving, then he can see clearly who he can hit when he's driving. The engine of this car is quite big, but comparing it to the weight and the amount of horsepower, which is just 150, it isn't the fastest car in the world. But there are other features which make it more usable for our profession. So now let's go into the interior of the Lincoln Town Car. And here you can see a pin pad. So we have a lot of people in our company. They come and go, and sometimes they leave the key inside of the car, and normally we have to get another key and another, it's a problem. But Lincoln thought of this. Here you have a code which you've lost, but if we have the code, we could just type it in and we could enter the car without the key. Okay, so we are now inside of the Lincoln Town Car. And why is the name Town Car, you might think? And before the Lincoln Town Car was ever released, there was a Cadillac, the Cadillac DeVille. And DeVille in French means so much as car of town. So Lincoln thought of that, or Ford, and made the biggest competitor to the Cadillac DeVille, the Lincoln Town Car. So for its time, the Lincoln Town Car is pretty innovative. How can you see it? It has some features that we really like as gangsters. For example, is the fact that there is this front window. In older cars, you had this little wind-up thing and they just turned around. In modern cars, most of the time, this window doesn't open whatsoever. And here, if we have somebody driving here, he has a Kalashnikov, and next to him is another guy with a Kalashnikov, and we are shooting, then we don't have to open this window, which makes the shooter vulnerable to bullets from the car in front of us. And people are expensive, $5 per one Russian killer and so on, and we care about economy. So here is a button, you see here, for the left front window, here, and it opens just this little piece. So if you have a Kalashnikov and you shoot, this window is still protecting you. And here you can just shoot some other person in front of you, and this is really important. This Lincoln Town Car has analog gauges. Most of the time they were digital, but we would like it to keep it more vintage. And actually this car is really in good condition because everything works. The rear antenna works, the clock shows the right time and it works as well. One other thing which is important in the winter, so you know, bodies rot, and if they are just somewhere on the land they start to smell. But if the temperature is low enough, we can make this process is a little bit slower. So here we have a temperature gauge near the window in Fahrenheit, and fortunately for us Russians in Celsius. So if we throw a body somewhere and we see it's -1, then we don't have to dig a hole, which is really practical. Here you have climate control, the control for the antenna. And moving on, here is a regular cassette player and an AM/FM radio. Mostly I listen to classical music like Brahms or Beethoven, and that's it actually. Another practical thing for us gangsters is the boot. So the boot is really huge in this car, but another good thing about the boot is that there is no visible button here to open it. So Lincoln thought of us gangsters because to accidentally not open the boot and you know there is a dead body or 2 or 3 and it gets awkward, you just have to open the glove box, and then here is the button for the trunk release, and I push it and the trunk opens. Mikhail! What do you mean you cannot hide the body? Just throw it into the river. What do you mean it floats? Oh, Mikhail, I told you, if you want to throw a body into the river, you have to use concrete. Okay, just put some grass over it. What do you mean there is no grass? Listen, Mikhail. If they will find the body, they will find yours as well. Sorry, business. And as you can see, the trunk is really huge. You can fit approximately 3 large bodies, up to 4 with a child here. No problem. And additionally, soft close mechanism. The rear of this car is really comfortable, and if we go grocery shopping, there's just a term I invented where we murder people and put them into the trunk, because it's just like going to the supermarket and buying stuff and putting into the trunk. So anyways, good memories. If we go to grocery shopping, it is really comfortable in the back. We can fit usually 2 people in the back because, you know, Sergey is a bit wider than me. And yes, you can see here everything is working. We have dome lights that work. We have these dome lights in the back that work. And see here. And as this car was advertised, this window was really important. So if we're driving by, I can look into the front, but I can look also into the back. So enough talking for now. Let's take this Lincoln out for a drive. Okay, so we're driving the Lincoln Town Car now. Drive, let's go. This is a big car, indeed. I think the hood is even longer than in the Cadillac I drove recently. Right? Right. Can you hear the blinker? It almost feels like there would be a spring inside. The steering is really light, and that is something my comrades really like about this car. You need only one finger to drive it nearly. We just went over a speed hump, and did you see this? We did not move whatsoever. Suspension is really incredible in this car. So we're cruising now with 30-40 miles an hour, and the only thing you can hear is the subtle grumble of the engine and nearly no sound from the outside whatsoever. We're cruising now around my neighborhood, and I can see that everyone is really silent. It's Sunday, so there is not a lot of going on in the businesses. I just cruise along and look if my people are respecting this car. And in a moment I will show you if this car has a little bit of power. This is the start of a real Russian gangster.